white cheeses like Brie and Camembert are really the most elegant of cheeses, and when they're on a cheese platter, everybody goes for them first. I always find they're the first to go. And it's because they're quite unique. They look so intriguing and they have such beautiful flavour and creaminess that no one can resist them. So I wanted to talk to you about them today, and here I have some of the more traditional shapes that you might find Brie, Camembert and triple cream in. It's one of the most asked questions. What is the difference between a Camembert and a Brie? Well, a Brie is usually made in a wider flat wheel. They're both obviously originated in France, around the region of Brie, and the Camembert is usually made in a smaller round. Well, that was the traditional way to make them. And because of that, they do mature differently and they get a slightly different type of flavour. You'll find that Brie tends to be a little bit softer when it's traditionally made, has that lovely runny-like quality, and Camembert has a sweeter and nuttier flavour. Triple cream cheeses, such as this beautiful log that I have here, are quite buttery because they have that extra bit of cream added in the making. Brie, Camembert and triple cream come in lots of different shapes and sizes. So when you're buying, you can choose from this type of range over here. Wider wheels, smaller wheels, little rollets, which are just beautiful to slice and pop on top of a biscuit. Ones that have a little bit of ash added to them, like this Discovery range. Small rounds and even ovals, so you're really sport for choice when it comes to this range of cheese. And look at this gorgeous one. This is a white diamond, and I just want to cut that and see what it's like in the centre, because a beautiful ripe cheese should look lovely and soft in the centre, almost bulging, and you can see that it's glossy and it's rich, and I can't wait to chomp into it. It's just such a beautiful cheese. So let's make something using a lovely little Camembert today, and this recipe is a Camembert en croûte, which means basically Camembert wrapped in pastry. I'm going to start with a quick little egg wash, and I'm just using the yolk of the egg because this is going to give me a golden colour. So that egg white's going to go into a jar in the fridge with some other leftover egg whites, and I'll make a pave out of that eventually. 1 little teaspoon of milk, just to mix that together. So I've got a Borg's puff pastry sheet here, which I'm allowed to thaw in the refrigerator. Always do it in the refrigerator because then it won't go all sweaty on you. And straight onto a baking paper lined tray. Now we need some fig paste, and I'm using a South Cape fig paste, and these are great. They're very handy to have in the pantry for when guests drop in and you need to knock together a quick little cheese platter. This one is fig flavour, but you can get them in quince, beautiful quince paste, pear and even plum. And all I need to do is just slice it. It doesn't have to be very precise. I'm just going to cut it into 3 little rounds and pop it onto the pastry over here. The cheese I'm using is a Tasmanian Heritage Camembert. Just need to keep it whole, just unwrap it and just very simply pop it on top. And using the egg wash we made before, we're going to just brush the edges there. Egg wash is like a cooking glue really, it just helps to stick everything together. So, bring in the edges. Again, I'm taking care not to stretch the pastry too much, just to enclose it. And now a little flip. I'm just going to gently pat it so it's nice and round. Some more egg wash on top. Sprinkle on some flaked almonds on the top. That's now going into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 25 to 30 minutes. But you need to cook it at least an hour before you serve it, so it gets to stand for an hour and cool a little. Look at this little beauty. We're almost ready to serve. I've got some beautiful frozen grapes just by popping them in the freezer till they become lovely and frozen. It's a nice way to serve grapes as something a little bit different. And The thing with the cheese I'm using, the Tasmanian Heritage Camembert, is make sure that when you're selecting cheese, that you buy it close to the best before date. Then you know that cheese has had its full length of maturation time and it's going to have great flavour for you. Garnish it with our beautiful frozen grapes. And by the time you serve them, they would have softened just enough to make them palatable. And it's just delicious. And I can tell you, you're going to impress your guests no end with that. For more information on cheese, go to cheesematters.com.au, your complete guide to cheese.